So I'm going to show you guys how to make this automatic chicken water. I'll show you the supplies in this next section of video, but the basic concept is you have a hose that's on the other side of the fence, you can't see it, runs up to the bottom of the bucket and connects to a toilet bowl float that's in the bucket. So that automatically fills the bucket up, and then you have PVC pipe running down into your chicken area, and there's these little things called water nipples you get off of eBay, real cheap, and you can get those for probably $3 or $4 shipped to you for a pack of 5. I don't show those in the next section of video, just FYI, that's something you'll need to. And then that delivers water to the chickens. You can see they just peck this, and it's fresh, clean water all the time. You don't really have to clean the system, which is nice. So I'll go ahead and show you the materials. I went ahead and went to Home Depot, picked up a bucket. They actually have food grade buckets now, which is nice. I picked up a length of PVC, the 3/4 inch by the way, an elbow, a cap, 1 inch to 3/4 inch threaded, and then the 3/4 inch threaded here to the 3/4 inch slip to go on the pipe. And this will allow me to connect to the bucket there. Got some glue. You probably don't necessarily need it, but I figured I'd make it watertight. Need a toilet fitting. This one will fit to the bottom of this toilet bowl float, and it'll connect to this part. And then the other end I got 1/2 inch so that I could get a 1/2 inch by garden hose size brass fitting. So this will connect to a garden hose, and then I can take that garden hose, connect to a Y at my faucet and have both sides still, and that'll give me water. So I'll go ahead and show you. The first thing we're going to do is cut a hole. Okay, so here is the thing with the Rector Seal epoxy putty. You can already tell it's kind of hardened up. Just shoved it on through, and I epoxied it in there. You could probably go around this again. I didn't, but because I had some squeeze out on the way through. And then I went ahead and drilled a 1 inch hole with a little Forstner bit so that this could fit through. We'll put it on in through the inside and screw it on in there. Alright, so I went and screwed in the little float. You can see it just has a hand tighten that down. There's no ring on the inside. And you can put this on. You don't have to. This little tube just directs the water where you want it to go. One thing you can do that's helpful, if you turn it to one side, you can pull it and then turn it and it'll select the height. I would actually recommend keeping it down at its lowest setting, because those chickens aren't going to go through water that fast, and it'll just fill up more times and flush your system more, which is good. Plus it'll less weight on the bucket, so whatever you set this on, less stress on it. I did go ahead and take out this little hose, and I connected it to the brass fitting right here with Teflon. So it's important to do that so it seals. But you don't want to use Teflon where the hose connects here because of the way the seal works. It's actually a rubber ring down here. Teflon will keep it from seating as well. So go ahead and screw that together, and then you're ready to go. Then we'll go ahead and position this where you want it and run the piping and all that stuff, get that set up. One thing I did realize is you probably won't want to put sealant on this piece, because when you screw that in, if it's glued, you won't be able to unscrew it without turning the bucket around in circles, which this could get in the way. So it might be smart to leave this one unglued and just screw it in and out. So if you ever want to unscrew that off and take your bucket out to rinse it, you can do that without too much trouble. So this is a poultry watering nipple, and you can pick them up on eBay. I got like a bag of 20 for $7, but you can actually just buy 5, which is really all you need for $2 plus $1 shipping. $3 to your door, not bad at all. You do want to try to get these red ones. The reason is they have a ball on the inside to allow this tang to go to either side, so when they peck it from the side, water will come out, not just when they go in. Plus, if you turn it over, the back end everything doesn't fall out. You get these little yellow ones that are ridiculously cheap, but they're also ridiculously cheap. They can only go in, they won't go side to side, so water doesn't really come out when they peck them from the side, which is obnoxious. And if you turn it over, everything goes out. So if the chicken theoretically pecked this thing hard enough, especially if it were at an angle, they could pop the back end out and then it would just leak water everywhere, and your automatic waterer would keep supplying water indefinitely, so that could be a problem. So, you know, spend $1 more and get the nice roots. Okay, so for the watering bar part, you can put these guys on. You just want to pick the diameter of whatchamacallit, a drill that would fit this, just slightly smaller in the threads, and drill a few holes down. That's all you need to do. The little ring here will actually seal it on there. Plenty good. So here's the system all hooked up. I'll show you how I put my bucket up there. I just used a couple of lag bolts. It's a nice, simple, cheap solution. And you can see in here the little water float, or toilet bowl float, filled it up. Nice and easy. Kept the level down so that there's a lower weight on the bucket. My hose is coming through from the other side of the fence, connected to the toilet flange hose. And then you can see it connected there like we showed earlier. As far as the fittings go, I did change the fittings up from the beginning. I decided to do something different. But this pipe is not glued in so that it can twist back and forth and work loose if I need to disconnect it. Seems to be watertight so far. And then I decided to use 45s to make a more gradual bend. I don't think it's necessary, but and then the 45 at the end just to hold it out from the fence a little bit. I just thought so. If their heads aren't just right next to the fence when they're pecking at that, probably isn't necessary. Conduit pipe tie, I ended up buying one of those for like 50 cents to secure that against the wall, and then used a little section of pipe here to secure this one. I actually drilled a little hole, shoved it in, and put some Rector seal, that epoxy putty. If you do it this way, I'd recommend filling up the bucket first, because it does tend to sag a little bit, just a little bit, and that can affect where you put the braces and all that. But you can see it's not leaking. I did end up having to use epoxy around the edges of these watering nipples because they were leaking. But now they're not. You can see when they peck it, they're going to leak water. But it's not going to make a mess. This has been sitting for a couple hours and they're not just dripping, which is good. So if you end up wanting to make this nice, fresh, clean water all the time for them, if you want any help, feel free to give me, send me a message. But yeah, 50, 60 bucks, you can do this. And it's cheap and easy, nice and clean, saves you time. Thanks for watching.